There was a time when vampires had no kings, no council, and no rules. Only 13 beings born from a celestial will. They were called the Originals, and from them sprang the families, powers, wars, and secrets so dangerous that some were erased from history. Today, we'll uncover their story, from the first throne to the Punisher's fall, from council intrigues to the last shadow of Laxmus. And in this video, we're diving into the original vampires, the 13 families they founded, the Vampire Council, the various vampire subclasses, the erased 14th family known as the Punishers, and the massive events that shaped vampire society. Long before vampires were organized into families, long before kingdoms or councils, there was the celestial Immortui. From this powerful celestial force, the first vampires were created, the Originals. Each of these Originals was gifted with a unique ability, a power so immense it would define the bloodline they would create. They were not just powerful, they were the foundation of vampire civilization. Each Original became the head of a family, and together they formed the Vampire Council, the governing body of vampire society, second only to the vampire king or queen. But there was a twist. While 13 of these Originals founded the recognized families, a 14th being arose, wielding the power of shadow. This would later become the Punishers, a family that existed outside the formal system. Their story would be erased, but their legacy lingered. Vampires are more than just creatures of the night. They are an organized, hierarchical society. The Vampire Council consists of the 13 family leaders. When the king or queen dies or enters eternal slumber, these leaders vote to select a successor. That vampire receives absolute blood control and king's blood armor, making them nearly unstoppable. Each family leader also chooses 2 knights, vampires of noble rank or higher, who serve directly under them. Every family possesses a blood weapon, forged from pure vampire blood crystals and passed down to successors. Family abilities are inherited from the Originals, passed down generation to generation. However, the 10th family, originally the Eno family, holds a unique power called equivalent exchange, which is limited only to the family leader and a chosen successor. Most powers can be taught freely, but this one cannot. Most vampires live in the vampire pool, the general population. Talented vampires can rise above the pool if noticed by one of the 13 families. Even the council itself was divided. There were 2 major factions, the Tyrant faction, led by Bryce Kane, including the 1st, 3rd, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 12th families, and the Guardian faction, composed of the 2nd, 4th, 5th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 13th families. These divisions fueled rivalry, betrayal, and wars. Let's begin our journey through the 13 families, seat by seat, and explore their abilities, leaders, and histories. The first family was led by Bryce Kane's grandfather, the Original First. Their ability, Barrier, allowed them to create invisible force fields capable of striking anything that entered their range. The family's blood weapon was the Sword Cane. Over generations, the seat was held by Bryce Kane, Kaz Kane, who temporarily took the seat, and Nikyu Kane. Their defensive mastery anchored the authority of the council. The second family, originally led by Tempest Cha, wielded Time Reverse, a power that could rewind wounds to their previous state, more potent than simple healing. Leaders included Harold Cha, Chapter 357, later referred to as Cindy Cha, Chapter 465, as well as Roa Cha, Kim Cha, and Katori Cha. Whether the name change was a retcon or a hidden plot twist remains a mystery. Third family Grenlet Toppy, the original third, possessed needles, blood needles that could disable targeted body parts. Notable leaders were Susan Toppy, May Toppy, and Verth Toppy. This family became known for precision attacks and surgical combat techniques. Fourth family, The Talon family, led by Heikel Talon, controlled ignition, also called catalyst, enabling them to detonate precise amounts of their own blood with explosive force. Their weapon was a blood shield, and leaders included Jin Talon and Clark Talon. They were fearsome in both defense and destruction. Fifth family, Bianca Kent, the original fifth, held zoolingualism, the ability to communicate with beasts, familiars, and even feral vampire types. Sonny Kent later led the family. The Kent family's unique ability became crucial when Earth began encountering other planets teeming with powerful creatures. Sixth family, Magnus Muscat, the original sixth, could plant invisible trap marks on the ground, immobilizing anyone who stepped on them, even for a brief moment. His blood weapon was a spear, and leaders included Vadine Muscat and Jake Muscat. Seventh family, Wallace Dawn, the original seventh, wielded hardening, allowing him to solidify objects to extreme durability. Their blood weapon was a cape, and leaders included Kyle Dawn, Harlu Dawn, and Tella Dawn. The Dawn family became synonymous with impenetrable defense. Eighth family, Remus Snacker, the original eighth, commanded telepathy. Capable of transmitting thoughts across an entire planet, this made the Snacker family critical for intelligence and coordination. Leaders included Tifu Snacker, Jill Snacker, and multiple unnamed leaders, one of whom was slain by Vincent Eno. Ninth family, Edvard Fortuna, the original ninth, possessed luck, subtly bending circumstances to favorable outcomes. Leaders and members included Blackjack Fortuna and Muka Fortuna. This power was constant, invisible, and dangerously effective. 10th family, the original leader. Richard Eno controlled equivalent exchange, allowing him to create anything conceived in the mind, at a cost. Only the family leader and a chosen successor could use this power. Leaders included Jim Eno, Vincent Eno, whose soul merged with Quinn's book, and Edward Eno. After the Eno line's collapse, Quinn Telen established the Cursed family, inheriting the 10th seat. Quinn's personal power was Shadow, which he taught within his family. The Cursed became key players in council politics and Earth operations. The 11th family had Invigorate, gaining strength with each hit temporarily. Leaders were Lucian and David Scudder. The 12th family wielded Momentum, stacking speed with each strike, though the effect faded over time. Their blood weapon was a rapier, and leaders included Newman, Prime, and Kim Kilton. 13th seat, Sanguinis. The Sanguinis family's puppeteer ability allowed them to control beings with invisible strings, multiply combat abilities of puppets, and lay intricate traps. Leaders included Haluk, Lee, Silver, and Fex Sanguinis, with his grandfather. 14th seat, the Punishers, Erased. Arthur Pendragon, original 14th, wielded Shadow Gouache Void, allowing him to manipulate and absorb shadows, slow attacks, create dimensional storage, and even shadow travel. His weapon was a greatsword. The Punishers enforced the king's will, but after the Second Civil War, they were banished. Arthur refused to reclaim the 14th seat, leaving history of the Punishers deliberately erased. Yet the shadow power survived, eventually passed to Quinn through the Cursed family. Vampires are not monolithic. Beyond the noble families, the world includes various subspecies. Dhampir, humans turned into vampires. Banshee, specialized vampire subclass. Blood Fairy, rare vampiric variant. Draugr, includes great and colossal Draugr forms. Ghoul, savage or altered vampires. Halfling, mixed lineage vampires. Hanya, subclass with tears. Naminari, Chunari, Honari. Other beings interact with vampire society, including demon zombies and the demon species category. The Vampire Council was never just bureaucracy. Secrets, betrayals, and manipulation shaped history. The Punisher's disappearance was orchestrated by older leaders, including Bryce Kane, who hunted and erased the 14th family from records. Vincent Eno, a monumental contributor, saw his work. Hania books, castles, innovations gradually erased. The Dalki, an artificial race, could only be created with approval from pre-Lee Sanguinis leaders. The crazed tribe embraced blood addiction to become intelligent predators. Royal knights like Brock and Dwight were once vampire leaders, but their origins remain mysterious. Laxmus was not just a vampire. He was the first vampire king, the God-Slayer, a creature of immense shadow and power. His ambition was to become a god of shadow. When he became tyrannical, the originals united to seal him in eternal slumber, wiping out his bloodline. His shadow passed to Arthur Pendragon, birthing the Punishers. Later, during the Dalki crisis, Laxmus awoke. He rampaged across the vampire settlement, fighting leaders like Arthur and King Bryce. Arthur passed shadow and blood armor to Quinn. Bryce granted absolute blood control to Quinn to finally confront Laxmus. Quinn defeated him, though he barely escaped. Thousands of years later, Laxmus resurfaced as Laxmus Immortui, rallying the Red Vampires with Layla. He acquired immense MC cells, demigod-tier beasts, and all 13 family abilities. Plans to defy gods were interrupted when Layla stole the Nest Crystal. In a climactic battle with Eren, Laxmus was defeated and killed, later turned into a white by Peter, still sensing the Red Dimension's portal and preventing disaster. Arthur Pendragon declined to restore the Punishers. The 14th seat remained vacant. The Cursed officially became the 10th, shrinking the council to 13 seats and erasing a chapter of history. Many mysteries remain. Vincent Eno's works were scrubbed. The Dalki origin approval rests with pre-Lee Sanguinis leaders. Brock and Dwight's original families are unknown. And so this is where our journey through the world of vampires comes to a pause, but not a full conclusion. Even after exploring the originals, the 13 families, the Vampire Council, the Punishers, and the epic battles of Laxmus, I can't shake the feeling that so much remains in the shadows. There are countless mysteries that the story has only hinted at, secrets buried in time, and events that were erased or left unexplained. The originals themselves, the first beings created by the celestial Immortui, were far more than what was shown. Their true intentions, their full powers, and the paths they could have taken to rise to God, level with the Immortui, remain largely hidden from us. We've seen the politics of the Vampire Council, the rise and fall of families, the erased 14th seat of the Punishers, and the incredible abilities passed down through generations. We followed Quinn, Arthur, Bryce, Vincent, Laxmus, and countless others as they shaped vampire history. And yet, for all this detail, the story still leaves gaps. Why were certain powers kept secret? Why were entire lines of vampires destroyed or erased from records? How exactly did the originals reach the heights that could rival the Immortui? These are questions the story leaves dangling, teasing us with glimpses, but never giving the full picture. It feels as if the originals were deliberately put into the shadows, restrained or hidden, so that one day they could ascend. I wish the story had revealed the originals fully, their personalities, their true ambitions, the entirety of their powers, and the exact way they influenced every vampire family. Because the history of the vampire world is incomplete without understanding them. Perhaps one day, more truths will come to light, and we will finally understand the full scale of their existence. Until then, all we can do is imagine, wonder, and anticipate the mysteries that remain hidden in the shadows of the vampire world. If you liked the video, please subscribe my channel and hit that like button. You can share your thoughts in the comments section.